Fight, 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 fight.
Okay, one is missiles, one is punch, and one is laser. Oh, that's jump.
Have some birds.
Which one is the
Get
missile?
away from me. Get away from me. Ow. Ow.
Wow,
Well done.
that's the first time I killed anybody with that. Ever.
The Unholy War. What is it good for? What is it good for?
Unholy nothing.
So I selected this because, well, I mean, we played Archon in the last season, and that feels like a spiritual predecessor to the Unholy War, and I kind of see the Unholy War as a little bit of an end to that bloodline. There may be other more modern examples that sort of fit in with that, but yeah, my brother and I used to play it a lot when we were younger. You've basically got two factions, Technos, Arcane, and there's a strategic layer that's sort of this hex-based map. Let's move her forwards.
To pick up the ur.
No, let's move her forwards.
It's ur, right?
It's
The yellow thing,
It's
the deposits is of our?
no, I'm just making that up. It's just ore, I think.
Is it, are they deposits of our, the yellow spaces?
Ore, yeah. And then there's the battle layer, and when these two factions come together, you sort of teleported down onto this arena where you fight in real time, using different abilities depending on the character. Get up! We used to love it though, we used to absolutely love it, and I thought it'd be a good selection because, like I said, we played Archon, and you thrashed me at Archon last time.
It's gonna be it. It's gonna be it. It's gonna be over. It's gonna be over. Yes.
Well, yes.
Do you remember?
Yes, that is
So-
something that happened.
Feels like a little bit of payback.
What the hell are you doing? I think I got rid of 5 of your health. Win!
Return on investment's high there.
Yes,
You actually practiced against the AI, which
yeah.
I thought, oh, you know what, the AI is pretty good. It should be a good opponent to cut your teeth against, but it was a bit too good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I did actually try, you know, the thing is, so you didn't have any practice at Archon when you did it, so it was just like picking it up as you went along. And so I thought, this time, we're gonna practice ahead of time, so we're gonna have a proper match.
Right, have some eggs. Have some eggs. More eggs. Come on, my little beauties. My little pretties.
Oh, you gotta hold them down.
Ouch. Right.
Come on!
Hey, what's this? Bouncy, 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 little babies. Come on, little babies. Aha, I can teleport too.
Oh my gosh.
I got the speed.
Ah!
You just get straight out of there. Chase him down, my pretties.
How many of these guys you got?
I'm dead.
I just kept on running. Every now and then just drop.
Oh, I can choose to.
Oh
yeah.
no. No, this is the thing, right? What? So doomed.
Hello to Bronto.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, oh, oh.
Ah!
I just farted. I just farted on your corpse.
One problem is that Unholy War versus Archon, there's quite a lot more, what's the word? There's a lot more different variations of what's going on.
Yeah.
So with Archon, you just had very simple, like, you know, bushes, no bushes.
Yeah.
And you had the different types of monsters, but they only had one attack. And the only thing that would vary would be if it was a light or dark. And you know, you could kind of pick it up quite quickly, even like without any real experience. However, in Holy War, you've got like two sides with lots of different, weapons, but they've got like 3 different attacks, and they've got a jump.
Yeah. So they've got 3 attacks for the tactical battles.
Yeah, and an attack.
And then
and a jump.
Yeah.
And then you've got the map side of things where they have attacks there too, and
Special
also
abilities. Yeah.
the different square hexes lead to completely different environments.
That's right. Yeah.
Each of which have little
quirks
and secrets in them. And when I started playing it with the AI, I realized, I'm not gonna get to grips with this. There's just too much variation here. But I thought I'd give the AI a go, and it's just too vicious. It's just like, as soon as it starts, it shoots you straight away. Not even like, okay, where am I? Boom!
It knows the optimal distance to keep at as well,
Yeah.
depending on the character. It knows when to use various abilities. It can use the map to its advantage, so it will use teleporters and jump pads, and if it sees a pickup, like an invincibility or energize, or
Oh yeah, it's on that.
it's straight on them.
Who's this guy good at? Ekton's dead. But he's very good at masticating enemies.
Always good.
What
Always a bonus.
we all love is someone good at mastication.
So when I came here to play the Unholy War, I was a bit kind of like, I'm not sure how this is going to work out, because there's so many different attacks and things like that.
And the really crucial thing was that you aren't familiar with the PlayStation controller. Triangle, top. Yeah, I know. No, B isn't for back. Triangle's for back.
I love PlayStation.
I'm so sorry, Joel.
It's all right. It's fine. When I bought you a game, it's just like, you just use one button.
Every time it was just like X to continue or something like that, I'd be choosing X on the pad, on the Xbox pad, which was not the PlayStation X.
Sorry, I'm fighting. Where's the PlayStation controller? Where's the PlayStation?
Just there. Yeah. Consult the pad.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play like this. And I'm just like, right. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was really wary, to be perfectly honest, when we started, we're going to do this. But it is like a ton better playing a person, because there's got that give and take. You actually gave me a chance to practice some of the moves before we started, because, there's 4 buttons, all of them do something.
Yeah.
And it's different for every character, and it's just very tricky to just...
Yeah.
When the AI is smashing you in the face, like, I'm just going to try, look in the instructions. The teleport button, and constantly it's going...
And some creatures have like little combos as well that sort of benefit them. So there was that sort of wasp character, which is this very nippy little lady with wings, and she can sort of take off. She's got this little zapper gun. But she's also got this freeze ray. And if you can freeze them and then use this other beam weapon, it will draw HP from the enemy. But in order to do that, you had to go from flying to landing on the ground. So there's like 3 successive, and you've got to do it before the opponent thaws.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, come over here, Joel, freeze me, see if you can take some health. And you're like, triangle, triangle. No, I'm like, because the thing is, well, I kept saying, oh, just press circle. You're like, there is no circle. Oops, that was the wrong button.
Not you as well.
Yeah.
I will say it was more fun, definitely, than when I was fighting the AI, and it. I could see that I could get into it with a lot more practice. Do I think it's a good game for today? And I'm still unclear about that, because I'm comparing versus Archon, of course, because that's like the Toys for Bob who made it. We know that one of the guys in Toys for Bob came from the Archon team,
Which is just amazes me, and I love that. I love that little fact.
so it's definitely a sort of successor to Archon.
Yeah.
On Archon 2.
Oh my God, this is not going well.
Da-da-da-da-da! Puppy power! I didn't get injured once.
No, I couldn't hit you. Could not hit you.
Oh my gosh. I look so sexy.
What? Because you're full health.
But the thing is, so it's in that console era where everything starts to get a little bit more vibrant and colourful. And I remember when I started, not the console era, but more like the 16-bit era, sorry. So I remember when we started seeing games coming out that time, things were getting very colourful and stuff, but they were starting to lose legibility. And I remember this at the time.
Yeah.
And you play something like Sonic the Hedgehog, and they do a very good job of trying to make a very clear distinction between Sonic, very blue and stands out from the background.
Yep.
And then the Unholy War reminds me of a lot of the missteps that were happened at that time with the sort of graphical design. And it blends too much. I feel like I'm looking at it and it's like I have no idea what the different creatures are on the map without going in. I'm sure you get used to them over time, but some like the Tesla and the Tesla with the Quicksilver, they look very similar, just as standing figures.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking this didn't happen in Archon because they were very well defined.
Okay, Quicksilver.
She is fast.
I got confused with her and the Wasp. I tried fighting. It's like, why isn't she flying? And all she was doing was chopping. It's just, honestly, just. Oh no, not help!
Not just that, but when you hover over them, they would show you the little picture, but I'm still not used to it. And then they give them names, not the name of the character.
You know
but they
what?
give it like,
I,
you know.
I totally agree. Yeah, there was like Rasta the Kill Cycle.
I didn't get you once. I even sent my little tiny, blood things.
Look.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm sure Rasta.
Rasta the Kill Cycle's going to take you out.
Right, let's just watch someone else get doomed against Laserface.
And also things like Archon was very clear about when you're in the so-called strategy map view, it would tell you how far something could move and how it could move. Whereas the same things have carried across. There's movement limits and there's sort of movement restrictions, like the kill cycle, for example, can go over water.
Yes.
But that's not clear from the interface at all. You click it and move it. Now, there is an info screen, but it's like you have to drill down, look at the info screen. And I'm sure after you do this a lot, you might remember. And I always remember the Tesla was very disappointing because it moved one space. Every time. It was like...
was he just one space? Yeah, but yeah, the teleport ability, it even surprised me.
That's true, with the teleport, which I used.
He's probably worth bringing forwards. What? What is this voodoo?
Well,
Me and my brother didn't really play the strategy mode a great deal. So there's some of these things I've never seen him use. I think you can just... What is this?
So yeah, I mean, it was just stuff like that where I feel like there's some gooey missteps here, which I feel like were things which were kind of lost.
There were some little inconsistencies with the sort of help screen. Like I mentioned with that Wasp, she doesn't jump. When you press the jump button, she engages her little jump pack, which allows her to hover around, gives her increased maneuverability and all that sort of stuff. But, God, and I think there's some strategy games I've played in recent years, and there's no in-game help whatsoever. So, like, although there's no tutorial to sort of gently introduce you to all these different concepts, there is in-game documentation that you can have a good dig through, and it is all, 90% of it is in-game. And I appreciate that so much, because me and my brother, I don't think we ever looked at the instruction manual as kids, because everything was there in-game. So it was like, oh, okay, so this is Mantis, and he's got these abilities, and oh, this is what he can do on the strategic layer, and this is who he's strong against and who he's weak against.
Another issue was the camera, which definitely screwed me up on the AI when playing the AI, because you're forced to move constantly. You can't sit still.
The AI knew where things were as well off screen.
And the thing is, when you're moving, the camera is constantly moving around and adjusting, and I find that very confusing. But the worst thing is, if you get more than a little bit far apart, you're basically on the edges of the screen, and you can't see what's next. Like, where's the lava? Where's the lava? And things like that. Oh, there it is. It's at my feet.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad with two-player, and I think also I was getting better at knowing the layout, and I think that's sort of, I guess the learning curve is kind of a little bit harsh, and it's easier to learn it with another player rather than versus AI.
Right, let me build my little healing node.
What? You got a what?
I mean, I actually think the Unholy War, given its age, does a really good job of dealing with two dudes, you know, knocking the stuffing out of each other in this arena.
Yeah.
With the camera, like you say, it does move around. It slowly pans around the arena, so I suppose in a sense that does actually give a bit of a freshness to each arena as well. Rather than it being this static, say, isometric shot, you've got this kind of dynamic camera, and then, like you said, if you move to the edges, the camera zooms out, and if you get really close to each other, it zooms right in, so it all gets personal, and there's, you know, blood and sparks and stuff flying everywhere. So here we go.
Yeah.
Who are these people?
Yeah. Fight random strangers. Okay. Oh, hello. What the heck?
The map that we played didn't have any bases, so we couldn't build units. So that meant that we had to be really careful with the units that we had. But
We also kept our game limited, except that you had the Prana.
Oh. No. Hate Prana. You gotta kill a Prana off quickly.
right.
And the Prana can spawn itself.
Oh yes.
We don't like the Prana.
Run away!
Whatever, mate. Let's just do this, shall we?
Buy one get one free with the Prana. It doesn't always pull off. I don't know what the percentage.
25%. I
Is it?
checked the instructions.
Yeah, in Chaos Reborn, 25% is not good odds. So I got very lucky. But I think, you know, coming back to what I was just saying, I think given all these different elements, I think it does a really good job, especially given that there's not many examples of that type of game to
No.
sort of iterate on and fully form things.
I think as I said, it's always a bit of a danger when you stick two types of game together, and I'm always a bit wary. Like I have written before about the problems of something like Botanicula, which is a point-and-click adventure, more or less. But then when you get closer to the end, you find stuff which is a little bit more arcadey, and it's like you've got people playing this who are used to just pointing and clicking, and then suddenly you tell them, "Oh, be fast and move around quickly." It's like it's just like a kind of bait and switch. It's like I'm sure it's quite possible some people cannot finish the game because
I think there was
of
that was some of the issues we found with it, where it was just a little bit twitchy in places. And
Yeah,
I'm not
but
sure.
so this is a similar kind of thing. The only thing is, like Archon, it's clear from the outset. You know what you're getting. You're not going to be like surprised by suddenly mixing two things together, which you can't, cope with.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a little bit of, I don't know if there's an audience reduction as a result of that. I think a lot of people who are into beaten ups and things like that would be interested in.
It does make me wonder, because I look at these, MOBAs and stuff, and I think to myself, oh, you know what? I think this genre could have legs today. Then I think, oh, the strategic layer. Would those kinds of people want to be involved in turn-based strategy as well? So, I mean, obviously,
about esports, right? I mean, there's such a drive towards the perfection, understanding the systems of StarCraft and MOBAs and so on.
Yeah.
And it's a world that I have no understanding of, honestly.
Same.
And I feel like, well, those are successful. There is a strongly, well, it's difficult to say strategic or tactical, right?
Yeah.
From just my knowledge, but there is that kind of level of you need to think and you need to be quick, and it's not just one or the other.
Yeah.
So, those have survived. So there's definitely an audience for this kind of game. I mean, the only thing I know of which is similar in recently is Aztez, which I think is like a board game with actual fighting when you end up on the same square or something. But yeah, apart from that, I don't really recall anything else apart from the Archon remake. And of course, what happened with Toys for Bob? What did they go on to make?
Well, this is it. They went on to make Skylanders.
Gill grunts, fear the fish. Eruptor, born to burn.
And that was just a money pit that they are still in.
Yeah,
and I know, Toys for Bob made Star Control, so there's going to be a lot of old fans that are like, they need to go back to Star Control. I'm like, they need to go back to the Unholy War.
Because I don't know the actual game of Skylanders, but the money-making conceit is the fact that you have to buy the figures to have them in the game, right? You've got to go and buy a figure
Yeah.
to plug it into the game. It's got a physical component. I mean, you could easily have done this in a digital shop, right? But no,
you
you have to
could,
go
yeah.
out and buy a figure, and it has. I mean, I think it's got a big play base, right? I don't know if it's more or less. No, it's more for the younger age
It's
because
difficult.
it's having figures. I don't know.
Yeah, it's difficult this one because I think Skylanders came along, made a ton of money, and then Disney were like, "Hey, we can get involved in this. We've got like loads of characters and franchises and IP, and we'll, so they made Disney Infinity, and I think that's tanked now.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think the games are very good, but the figures were really nice. And then Nintendo got on the bandwagon with Amiibos. I look at the Unholy War and I can kind of see where they went from the Unholy War to Skylanders because you've got these like quite cool little characters with abilities.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, thinking about it, I could imagine a newer version of the Unholy War with more of an esports angle, and then these little figures that people could collect. You think about stuff like Dota, like I think.
But then we get into that. I don't think either of us like that kind of game.
No,
where
but I
it
mean,
all depends on what money you've spent.
No, I don't
Yeah.
like it. I'm going to move this cap here. The end is nigh.
The end is denied.
There was a problem in Archon where you get two characters together, and usually there's an interesting fight, or one will trash the other very easily, like Knight versus, I don't know, Phoenix or something like that. But there was one problem where if you actually ever fought a Phoenix versus a shapeshifter, it was virtually, it was a fight that was going to go on forever because the Phoenix is invulnerable when you burst into flame and you can't move. And the shapeshifter becomes a Phoenix as well. So what happens is they get close, one Phoenix goes and the other one goes to try and protect themselves. And there's a tiny bit of health lost from the first one because of the synchronization difference between the two. And it's like this fight would go on forever, and it was just like, so depressing.
Did we end up in that fight?
I think Unholy War avoids that issue most of the time, but there is a little bit.
God almighty.
Oh, it's hard. Oh, the river threw me down.
Flying ones can have this problem because they can,
Hang around upstairs.
go up there and just hang around. And you've got a ground fighter which can't really get up there.
Yeah, not
apart
no
from
range.
using maybe some jumping.
Yes.
And it just makes it more for a very lengthy, tedious, sort of like a battle of attrition.
Well, I personally found it was two of the flying ones that were the worst. So you got Kill Cycle and Fire Witch. Kill Cycle needs to land to replenish his energy. So he's got to come down eventually, which is kind of like a nice way of rounding him off. Fire Witch, she can stay up in the air forever and her energy will replenish. She's only got 15 health though.
And I haven't got 50. I haven't got 22. What do you think is going to happen with flying witch face?
But the problem is they've both got these long range shots and it's just one shot. And they're relatively slow travelling projectiles. Now when you've got these two flying things trying to shoot at each other, they just miss all the time.
There isn't the ability to really... The camera's moving, everybody's moving, and it's really hard. I never knew when I was actually aiming at you. Sometimes when we're up in the air, and it's just like I'm just shoot, just whatever. Something will happen.
Yeah.
Come on,
The
die.
thing is, I have to land in order to... Yes.
Well, Greg, I think what we've shown today is that you've played the game many times before.
But no, it was really nice for me to return to the Unholy War after so long. I've got to say, I know when my brother watches this video, he's going to be like, "Oh, Greg, I should totally come over and we should have some rounds on it." So, and it was quite interesting playing it along with you because it's obviously a new and fresh perspective on how the whole experience rolls out. Because to me, it's just always been This, I don't remember the learning curve coming up to it. So
yeah, that's the Unholy War on any PlayStation emulator near you.
Dignified victory.
look,
Could we call that?
You couldn't ask for a better end, could you?
Could we call it a dignified
Loss?
loss? A dignified defeat, right? You can't call that.
Hey, look, the kills don't look too bad.